Hi, Taurus. If you are here today, this is a Taurus reading for Taurus sun sign, obviously, but it could also be relevant for if you are a Taurus rising sign or your ascendant is Taurus. And if you have a Taurus moon too, this could be a reading for you. So we're looking for timeless messages right now that resonate and some practical information that we can give you in your life to integrate into your life. Sorry, that's my cat. Lily, get down, please. That's extra cat energy for you, Taurus. So you can integrate to have a happy, healthy life. So we're starting with the foundation of the reading messages that we're going to get you today with the Starseed Oracle cards. So let's turn these over. Okay, cracked open. That's beautiful. Rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. I know that doesn't sound great, but bear with it. Bear with it, Taurus. You can do this. Deep cellular healing. So physical and emotional healing. You've got some serious energy coming in here. I feel as though this is an excellent time to get a reading. I'm going to go ahead and use these manifestation cards too, manifesting cards at the same time. Again, I am so sorry. My cat is... I invited her in here because I thought she would be... I don't know what I thought she would be, but... Again, some cat energy for you. So for those of you, Taurus, who are going through, I feel as though there's been a system for you, at least for the last 6 months, even like a year. There's been shifts in your perspective several times, and there's been sort of a growth spurt or a growth period. But you're coming into a new sense of self here. And I do feel as though the cracked open, there's some kind of information that's just been given to you that sort of changed everything in a way. I feel as though there's an activation process that you're going through. And let's see, to begin the practice of allowing, I must get out of the way and let spirit give me direction. Yes, absolutely. Let's get one more too. I feel as though you've been given new information here that sort of in some ways makes sense, but it also is asking you to sort of reveal yourself, I guess, to the world is what we're saying, in a completely different way. It sort of changes everything. Like there was a game changer recently. Here we go. I can do less and attract more. Yes. So I feel as though again, this is a general reading, but the message that I'm getting for Taurus is that the game changer that just happened, what it is, the energy that you just came into, you were activated in a way, deep cellular healing, you were activated in a way that almost everything that's gone on before almost doesn't make any sense anymore. So there is a new level of frequency that you're working with and that you're dealing with, which is absolutely beautiful, but it can feel like, again, that you're being cracked open. So nothing really makes sense anymore. Now, the one thing, the one information or the one message that I'm getting for you is that how it is that you were in the world and a lot of the ways that you moved in the world before are no longer going to work for you anymore. Now, I think on some level you totally understand that, but you are reverting to certain understandings and certain ways of moving forward that you did before. And again, it's becoming stressful, and for some of you it's becoming quite painful that it's not working anymore. You're at a little bit at a loss. For those of you, the Taurus energy I'm feeling for you, you make steady progress and you work, you move forward with baby steps. I feel as though with you, you can see the mountain, but you know how to get there. You know it's going to take a while. You expect things to take a while. That's not to say that you don't get impatient. You can get extremely impatient, Taurus, but you also know at the end of the day that impatience doesn't take you anywhere. You're the sort of person who would be very calm in a situation for the most part and be like, all right, X, Y, and Z, this is what we need to do to get there. I feel as though you're the person that people come to for practical advice to get some, even if it's a spiritual situation, this is what I can do for you practically. This is what I can say to you to get you from A to B. Now, this in itself is a wonderful way to be, and you're an excellent friend, and your idea of freedom, though, has shifted dramatically. ironically enough, this way isn't working for you anymore. You're in a position of frequency to really align with what you want and attract it immediately. And you almost are confused about how this is happening. You don't even know how to work with this energy because you're used to working slowly and steadily. And what this happens for you, why you do this is because Taurus, it takes you a long time to get on board with things. So these baby steps that are happening for you in the past as you're moving forward, this gives you time to get really on board and to get integrated into the idea of what it is that you want. Now, this can go against you because in the past, it's taken you a while to get there. But when you've gotten there, you've been like, oh my God, I've gotten this, but I don't want it. But I feel as though the message that I'm getting for you is that, you know, you've moved very pragmatically in your own way, and now you're attracting at lightning speed, and you're attracting things. The energy around you is completely different. You're not being asked to move slowly forward. You're being asked to speed up and step into who you are and shine from there. There's almost no more work left for you to do or for you to attain, and this is making you nuts because how do I do this? I have no idea how to do this. Literally, the way in which you've worked your entire life, you're being told you don't need to do this anymore. And you have no idea how this is working for you. So, of course, it feels like you're being cracked open. And for some of you, you feel as though you've reached rock bottom because, you know, everything that you've worked for and the way in which you've worked for it no longer applies to your life. Of course, it feels painful. So surrendering, okay, is one way in which you move forward, of course, but Taurus, let's be honest, that's not what you're really great at doing. Your baby steps forward, your practical mind is absolutely incredible, but there's an essence of control in that moving forward slowly. Like we've said, it gives you time to try things on. It gives you time to tweak things in your own way. It's also a little bit of a mask for control, right? And it's also a way that you can control your situation as you're getting there with the least amount of drama, because Taurus, you are many things, but you don't like drama. You like to be drama free in your house. You like to be left alone. You like beauty and, you know, the essence of beauty being around you. So it's a way for you to slow down and control the aspect or the information that could be dramatic or the drama that is around your life. It's a way for you to control the drama. So in many ways, this moving forward pragmatically, small baby steps has really worked for you. And it's been a way that you can really control the essence of, you know, your own personal space free of drama. And it's worked for you. Now you're being asked to surrender and move forward completely differently. No longer the need for control. No longer the need to work pragmatically. You have a pragmatic sense of self. You always will. But now you're asking to live truly from the heart, to surrender, to work with spirit in a very different way. You're very spiritual in your own earthy way. And again, that is very much on your own terms. You're being asked to do a lot less work and to surrender in a way that doesn't feel comfortable to you. Now, bear with me. I just want to get some more information for you. We are working with the Goddess Tarot here. We're going to get you some more information. Now, I want to be clear, Taurus, you are absolutely on the right path. And this is just information for those of you who are resonating with this reading. Again, it's a general reading, but for those of you who are resonating with this reading right now and are feeling the breaking point of this situation, we're just here to remind you and shine the light on the surrendering part of the process. Everything gets so much easier once you surrender. Whatever it is that feels as though you're going through the darkness is actually some of the sludge coming up. I call it echoes. You've already been through a huge amount of healing, again, slowly and sometimes desperately, but on your own terms. You do everything slowly, and sometimes when you've looked back on your life, you can actually see aspects of your life and you've become different people because you've taken the time to heal slowly. You don't look at you look at the problem intrinsically, and then you take your time to go into different aspects of the problem and approach it differently. You have almost a very scientific way of healing, and that's worked for you because you've actually healed beautifully. If anything's coming up right now, it's the sludge, it's the echoes of the old. Do not get attached, let it go. This is really, really deep cellular healing that you're going through in order to get you ready for the surrendering process. And for those of you who were screaming, going, no, I don't want to do this process, it'll be a lot easier if you do, Taurus. It will be a lot easier. That's what we have here. Yes, Princess of Cups, you are ready. You are absolutely ready. And the Nine of Staves reversed. So you are absolutely ready to do things a little bit differently. And this is the reason, let's remind you of the reason why you're ready. A lot of how you've been doing things before really does take a lot of time. And what happens sometimes in your process, Taurus, is that you've regurgitated sort of old versions of cycles because you are moving so slowly and moving through. And again, you've moved through successfully healing on a cellular level because you've taken things slowly. But then this process no longer works for you. You've actually outgrown this process anyway, because now you're just in a circle of going through the same stuff, maybe to a lesser degree. But you've noticed in your life there has been some circles recently. So an aspect of your soul has asked for a brand new way to be, and you are ready to do this. You know, for those of you who are going, I don't even know why I'm here. I don't, you know, the surrendering process, it feels like I'm broke. It feels like I'm breaking down. It feels like I'm having a breakdown. You're not. You're having a breakthrough. Now, it can feel like a breakdown, and you're absolutely 150%, 200% entitled to your own feelings. If that's how it feels, and that's how it feels. Objectively, though, it's not a breakdown. It's a breakthrough. You're being asked to surrender. You're actually at the point where surrendering is your hope to move forward. There's an aspect of your soul that wants to surrender, that wants to do things differently, that is very grateful for the process of slow and steady progress. But now you are ready to move into an accelerated version of self. The world needs you. Get back on track. And I promise you, once you come out of the other side of this and surrender to the process, the way in which you manifest your world, you'll be pulling in to your world so many high degrees of manifestations of people, soul family, people who will help you onto the next degree, that you will be firmly on your path. Now, the one thing I can say about the way in which you've done things before, Taurus, it's been very thorough. Right? But there's been doubts about whether you've been on your path, or whether you're taking things too slowly, or whether you're doing as much as you can. So, you know, there's no reason in going back and doubting, but now the surrendering process brings you into the light a lot quicker, and is able to, you're now able to integrate all of the wisdom that you have and move in light, literally at the speed of light, and attracting what you want much quicker, and getting to the point of process, getting to the point of what it is that you're supposed to do. So you wake up every day and feel as though you're firmly on your path. I feel as though for Tauruses, for most of you, you wake up every day, you're happy to be alive, you're happy to be doing what you're doing, but you're feeling as though you're doing all of this work to get onto your path. The surrendering process puts you firmly on your path and keeps you there every day. So, excuse me, do not be afraid of lightning speed here. Remember, all of what you've done has led up to this point. You've done everything slowly and carefully because you knew at one point, your soul knew at one point you were going to move forward with lightning speed. You have all of the processes that you need. You have all of the information, all of the beauty, everything that you need to move forward. So just because it's at a different speed and you're not used to it, please do not get caught up in the understanding or the idea that you are at rock bottom. You are not starting from the beginning. You're just asked to tweak a version of how it is that you exist in the world. It's just a matter of perspective. I promise you, once you open yourself up to less control and more alignment and moving with the surrendering process, the ease in which your life will shift and change and attract this kind of ease. That's another thing that you've had. You've not always had an easy life. You've put yourself, going slowly means that you go through everything. You no longer need to do this. And for those of you who are out there and say, yeah, this has taken quite a bit of time, you know, your soul is asking to speed this up. This is the time. There's no more waiting around. This is the time to accept your path and move into it. And for those of you who are a little bit nervous, it's because, you know, the surrendering process, again, is a little bit difficult for you, but you've never really fully felt as though you're completely and totally on your path. You've had aspects of being on your path, but you constantly feel as though you're veering off. That's not necessarily true, but the surrendering process puts you firmly again on your path, ready to move forward. It really is on your own terms. You're just working with the universe differently. I promise you, your world shifts and changes, and the acceptance of who you are and your purpose for being here will be very much with you and integrated into your everyday life in a way that it hasn't been before. So, Taurus, this is an exciting time for you. Remember, it's not a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. I know sometimes it can feel like that, but you have been working towards this your entire time, even for those of you who are like, I don't like doing it this way. I promise you, you are ready. So if this resonated with you, Taurus, feel free to let me know in the comments. It was a pleasure reading for you today. And until we meet again, bye-bye.